Pokemon Day 2022. So there was a huge announcement of a new series of Pokemon games. A Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet are now set to come out later this year in a shock. The game actually looks like Legends Arceus, in my opinion. It looks like a modern day uh, Legends Arceus
Well,
Pokemon.
we don't really know to what extent though, because their messaging and has been that it seems like it's more open world than Arceus. Because I mean, for those that don't haven't played Legends Arceus, that game isn't really open world. Like I would say, it's more like in line with like Monster Hunter or what's another game? Like you're kind of like in segments, and then you kind of can explore whatever, but like you still gotta have to like travel through like a quest log or someone telling you, hey, you got to go back to the village, and then you got to pick where you want to go, and it's a little confusing. So it's not like a complete open world where you're free to go anywhere and do whatever. You're still very much restricted. While I feel like this game, Scarlet and Violet, could potentially be more open world where you're free to do whatever, which would be more interesting because I mean, like the main Pokemon games have kind of like dungeons or puzzles or little mini things that were missing from Legends. And obviously there's gym battles in the Elite Four. So I think all of that in an open world setting would be, I mean, it would be compelling. Like I would definitely would love to see it. But I also think it's kind of soon for this game. Like that's like the video that I wanted to make with Gary was, is this too soon, right? Like we just got Legends. That was just, a sort of improvement, and now we're getting this game already. It's like, could you like, slow down? We just got like, Diamond and Pearl remake just a couple months ago too. So it's like, I don't know. This is a lot. I'm excited, but at the same time, I don't want to be burnt out.
And here, basically, my take on it is, like he said, Legend Arceus was basically like you're talking about zones. I still haven't played it, but it was basically broken up into zones, correct?
Yeah. That I didn't explain it properly, but yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
So from my understanding, the way they've kind of worded it on their website, I'm understanding that this is going to be almost kind of like a 50-50. It's going to be the best of both worlds. This kind of does prove that, Legends Arceus was not a mainline. I know a lot of people wanted to see it as a mainline game. Maybe in the sense of like the story, it's connected in a sense. But this is our true mainline Gen 9 game. And for the most part, I do believe this is going to be more open world. I don't think you're going to be sectioned off into zones. How they're going to pull this off, I'm not quite sure. Obviously, from the early teaser, it is looking a little rough. Not that that was ever a really big problem, in my opinion, as long as the gameplay's there. I really do hope that this focuses on, I've said it multiple times. I've said it in a lot of comment sections. I've said, I really hope that this sticks to the traditional side while throwing elements of Legends Arceus. The open world is not going to be bad. The fact that there's not going to be any random encounters, as long as they balance it where there are no, I don't really want to see, boss fights in the game like there were in Legends Arceus. I don't want to be chucking like food at the Pokemon. I don't think
I didn't like that aspect of the game,
right?
Especially the later bosses.
Right. I don't feel like that's a good fit. I really want to see them kind of go back to, a standard 4 moves, gym battles or trainer battles and gym battles, kind of exploring. I don't know really how they're going to handle, if this is an open world, I'm not sure how they're going to handle like a leveling up system. Maybe everything just kind of, works with you and you can do anything in any order. I think there will be some structure to it. But, overall, it does look like a fun region. A lot of people are excited that it's going to be set in Spain. this could be, if they do it right, this very well could be one of the best Pokemon games. I will say that, even not being a huge fan of what, Legends Arceus looks like, and that's the reason why I haven't gotten it yet. But I think if they do this right, the starters look fantastic. I think out of all the gens, these are close to rivaling the original three, at least for me. I think a lot of people are going to be moving with the grass cat. I like all three. I could go either way depending on what their evolutions are. And if by all means they can shatter the gameplay mechanics that they've done in the past, where they've never really followed a set. They always kind of introduce new mechanics, right? We had, mega evolutions back in the day. They introduced, Dynamaxing and stuff like that. Being that Kalos, which was Pokemon X and Pokemon Y, if that region is actually set right above this new gen, so I'm really crossing my fingers and hoping that by some miracle that Mega Evolutions can come back into this game. I know a lot of fans always hope, wishful thinking on that, but I really do see this being set up as one of the best Pokemon games. But as Blinded said, I think it is a little too early. I think this was something they needed to wait on next hardware, and not even like pushing it back. I don't think pushing it back a year would have made much of a difference. I really think they should have waited for this, because while I do think this is the future of Pokemon, I really think they should have waited until they had a hardware boost, because the game really in the teaser trailer just shows that it's
the frame rate was bad.
The frame rate was bad. You had muddy textures, you have low textures. So I'm really I'm worried about it. I'm worried, and especially that it's coming out the end of this year. It's going to be a miracle to pull this one off.
Yeah.
You don't think people are going to like the Donald Trump looking duck?
I'm going with that.
I didn't even make the connection. That's awesome.
Yeah, that hair.
He does have the little Trump comb over.
That's hilarious.
But I will say that it all depends on how they handle this game. That's really what it boils down to. It's all how they handle it. It could be really good, or if they go the Legends Arceus route and they focus more on that than they do traditional, it'll be a game that I skip. It might be the end of Pokemon for me.
I can understand why they did this though, because Legends Arceus, it's like once you beat the game, there's not much else. Like once you beat the Pokedex and catch everything, you're kind of like, what is there to do? And that game was not focused on battling whatsoever. Like you rarely battle people in the game. Like there's battles, but it's not like a constant thing, right? So it's like I can understand why they're like, hey, we better put this out this year just to like hold over people. But at the same time, like I feel like if you're gonna do an open world, you would kind of have to reinvent the battle system, because that was like one of the things that I had an issue with Legends Arceus. Like after I beat it, got to the credits and everything, and put like 100 hours into it, it's like, yeah, the battling system needs a revamp, because it just doesn't compare to everything else, like the catching mechanic and running around and interacting with the Pokemon. You're like, how do you update the battle system while keeping it intact? It's very hard, because like most games that were turn-based combat, they were kind of easy to translate, right? Like you could kind of see, like Fallout, the way that they did it, or like Final Fantasy. It kind of makes sense, right? Where it's like, well, yeah, they have weapons and stuff, but with Pokemon, they have all these different moves, and a lot of the moves aren't offensive, they're defensive, or they're special attacks. So it's like, how do you translate that into, real-time combat, and how does that look? So that's kind of like my main concern, because like I feel like they're just going to give us Legend Arceus with, no zones, but it's also going to be like gatekept, right? Where you're like, you can explore some areas, but at the same time, it's going to be harder because there's harder Pokemon, and you still need to beat a gym in one area. So it's like, I'm excited. I'm probably going to pre-order it, but like, I'm always skeptical about any sort of Pokemon game that comes out. Like I was skeptical about Legends Arceus, right? And I still love the game. Like I still ended up liking the game, but yeah, like they need a really I don't know. Like I was hoping for Black and White remake like next year or something. I think that would have been better just because they've been hinting at it very hard in Legends Arceus. Like that game has so many references to the Black and White games Unova, so it's like you should have just done that and held off on Gen 9. So it's like but it is what it is. Money, I guess. So can't blame them.
The way I really see it though is that these games were developed like they were making Gen 9, and it seems to me like they were like, hey, let's get a group of guys together, let's throw some other assets on it, let's throw a different couple mechanics on it, and boom, we can sell that as a game. It's almost what it feels like, because it had this come out maybe in 2023, I would say, okay, yeah, this was being developed for the sole reason just to release Gen 9. But the fact that this is coming out literally in the same year that Legends Arceus came out, it feels too similar. You know what I mean? It feels like they were working on Gen 9 and they just kind of spun something out to make a little bit of money. And unfortunately, that's what we're getting with Game Freak anymore. Is just it's become a a numbers game. They know they can make the money, and they'll spit out what they can.
I would have preferred if they were going to do Gen 9, could you at least do another Unova game where it's like just like the whole Pokedex is new Pokemon? You know what I mean? Like why are we again like a lot of the Pokemon that were in that trailer were in Legends Arceus, right? So it's like, are you serious? Like, you know what I mean? It's not that fresh. So
that's Game Freak for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad.
I want to see a Dynasty Warriors Pokemon crossover.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no! No
Pokemon Warriors.
Please stop with these Dynasty Warrior games. I'm sorry.
I'm sure they'll do that. I'm sure they'll do that eventually. I mean, if you think about it, Legends Arceus is kind of close to that, but you'd actually have to play as a
combat.
Pokemon. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean So
you play as the Pokemon with different moves.
You say that, and it's gonna happen because it's totally something that they're gonna do.
I mean, they've already crossed over with the Romance of the Three Kingdoms games, and that Pokemon.
Yeah, they have Fire Emblem and Zelda, and what's the other franchise?
No, but Pokemon's crossed over with.
Are you talking about Pokemon Conquest?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And they've done the Etrian games like Dungeon Crawlers. So
that game came out a long time ago. That was on the DS. Holy shit.
Yeah. And then they had that one that they did the blue and red remakes for Switch, but
that was another thing I was expecting. I was expecting Let's Go, the Johto games. Like that would have made sense. Yeah. Not this.
And
you know what I mean?
the problem is they've kind of been everywhere. It was kind of unpredictable, but I had an inkling that like they were gonna do, they were at least gonna tease it. I told you guys before, Pokemon Day, that they were gonna release a teaser of Gen 9, and I thought maybe they would port over Detective Pikachu, and at first I was kind of like, is this? Which one is this? Is this going to be Pikachu, or is this going to be, Gen 9? But that was my feeling, was that they were going to tease Gen 9. I just had no idea that it was going to come out at the end of this year. I think that piece of news blew me away more than anything else that I seen in that trailer.
Yeah, same.
Speaking of the rest of that Pokemon Day 2022, Legends Arceus, whatever, they actually got a software update. It's going to add more trainer battles or something.
Alpha Pokemon, kind of like hordes and stuff. I didn't get to try it just because I put 100 hours and I'm like, I need a break from the game.
Now, is that something you're like? I'm hoping that they kind of take Alpha Pokemon out. Like, I hope we just get like a more traditional standard, Pokemon experience with 9. Or do
I
you
am
think that's
curious
something
about
that
that. I don't know. It'd be really interesting if they did. Just because, like, I mean, like the alpha Pokemon's kind of made it more action oriented because you were kind of like dodging them and stuff like that. Like, I'm really curious to see what exactly they take away from Legends Arceus or Arceus. So I don't
I mean,
know.
if at the end of the day you can like sneak around in tall grass and you can stalk Pokemon and then maybe craft a few items here and there, because I think the crafting system could work. Maybe if it's not too in depth, maybe if you're just kind of, because like from what I understand, like Spain region is like heavy in like the food side. So I could
Hmm.
totally see like crafting meals for Pokemon, and they've always kind of had that in the game. You did the
Well, craft.
coffins and other stuff.
I could definitely see that because there is crafting in Legends Arceus, right? Like to make the Pokeball, you got
Right,
to craft it and stuff like that. And there are
right.
food that you got to craft too. So I could see that.
As
That would
long
make
as they
sense.
keep that on like the light side, and then they kind of bring more of that traditional feel, because I just believe that like it's a traditional game. It should stay to that standard. It should be more traditional than on the Legends Arceus side. I think at the end of the day, if they keep we got an open expansive world, because that's basically what Legends Arceus was. It might not be
Hmm.
a free to roam open world, but in essence it was a vast open world over traditional Pokemon games. If they can keep
Yeah.
that, if they can keep the sneaking aspect, if they can keep minor aspects of crafting, and then kind of all roll it into one while giving us, gym experiences, trainers here and there, a lot of items, a decent, new set of Pokemon. And if they can really focus in on and make the Pokemon designs really well, I think they do have something special here. Now, the graphics aren't going to be something special. We understand that, right? We're going to, a game that's on aging hardware, and it just is what it is. But I think if they can nail those other things, I think they got something special here.
But you know what this also means? They're delaying Breath of the Wild. Okay, that's my prediction. That's my
I'm
record it,
50-50.
keep it.
I'm 50-50, and here's why. Like, what date, when would they delay it to, though? Like, why would you not have that come out? Like, I think they're going to push this for the first time. I think Nintendo's really going to try to see something. They're going to try to see if they can milk both franchises at the same time.
I
This
don't
could
know.
be a
I don't
this
know.
could be a first. It doesn't make any sense. It really didn't, right? To have something like Zelda be expected at the end of this year, and then to drop Pokemon, which is obviously
Hmm.
the bigger seller. You're going to take focus away from that game. But I think people are, you know, um, anticipating Breath of the Wild 2 so much that I don't think they'll care. I think Nintendo's really going to try this as an
I,
experiment to see if they can release both of these at the same time and still have big numbers for both of them.
I feel like if it was coming out this year, they would have shown us something in that direct. Like it just feels like they're like waiting. They're like, ah, crap, we promised them 2022, but it's like, it's more like 2023. You know what I mean?
I
That's
mean,
what it
I mean,
feels like.
I mean, I could definitely see that. I agree. They should have had something by now. The only thing that's weird is if they decide to release this in a year from now, like it just March, April release kind of seems weird to me. But hey, look at Legends Arceus came out in what, the end of January or whatever, and it
Yeah.
sold really well. So who knows? Who knows? I
Yeah.
think a lot of people are going to be pissed if it doesn't come out this year, though.
Yeah. Additionally, they're going to have a new anime based on Legends Arceus, uh, based in the Hisui, whatever the hell region.
Yeah. Hisui.
Hisui. Uh, Also, there was an update for Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yeah, that was a little way too late.
I forget what was they're releasing, that's right,
Shaman.
Shaman, that's right. So you're going to be able to visit. They're going to give you the card or whatever ticket. You can go and
Yeah.
visit Professor Oak, and that'll allow you to catch Shaman. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's something.
You can already catch Shaman in Legends pretty easily too. So I just thought it was weird.
Yeah, apparently Shaman is the gratitude Pokemon and is able to change into its sky form using the Gracidia item in Pokemon.
Yeah, he looks like a bush.
Yeah.
It's the
George
bush
or-
Pokemon. No, a shrub.
Yeah, a dog and a shrub. That's how I always saw it.
Yeah, I was never, keen on the legendaries. The legendaries always were like, at least the event legendaries. These are always been ones that have, for people who are not familiar with Pokemon, they always have locked these like 10 or so Pokemon that you couldn't get other than an event. So it's nice to see that they're kind of available in this day and age. Back in the day when you had, a Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, you had to go to Toys R Us to get all these, on the Pokemon Day back in the
True.
day. You
Yeah,
had to
I
go,
remember that.
You had to go to stores and stuff to acquire these. But it's nice to see that they're, with technology now and the fact that they can do the mystery gifts. I mean, even when they had, the DS, they didn't like releasing those. You still had to go to the store. But it's nice to see that Pokemon, Game Freak's at least releasing these. You don't have to leave your house. You can, turn on the internet and get all this stuff. So, I mean, that's cool in that sense.
Yeah, and apparently Pokemon Go is getting additional Aloha region Pokemon. Pokemon Masters EX is getting some extra stuff. And Pokemon Cafe Remix is also getting some bonus stuff.
I know that
Pokemon Unite too.
Unite had, I believe they were getting Hoopa, and I don't know if they were getting anybody else, but I do remember them, them releasing Hoopa for that. So that's kind of cool. I played a little bit of Unite, and I was a big League of Legends fan, years back. So I played the game. The little guy plays the game all the time. He just mashes the buttons, but he loves playing it. He thinks he's always kicking people's butts, but it's a good game. But unfortunately, that game was broken. So.
Yeah, rip Pokemon Sleep. Who knows if that's gonna happen?
All right, I think that's
enough.
It for Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
I think Dazed fell asleep over there.
He's dead. He's
all I know about Pokemon is what it does to my wallet every time my son wants Pokemon cards.
Oh my god.
You don't like them Pokemon?
Pokemon was one of those things. I was in high school when Pokemon
You're a
came
little
out,
too old for it.
Little too old. I'll tell you what, I've developed an appreciation for it over the years, especially like playing Smash. But yeah, no, it's cool. My son is into it, so yeah. I just don't know anything about it.